Thank you, Paul, Foundations, for having me on today. Right, as mentioned, I'm Martin Robinson and I'm the lead caseworker from Middlesbrough Staying Put agency. So as an introduction to the project delivered in Middlesbrough, the Staying Put agency is the town's only home improvement agency, and we are based in adult social care. The Hoarding intervention service was started in 2018 as a necessary project to complement services already provided by the agency itself. The project was funded by the Better Care Fund under the prevention metric to prevent hospital admissions through individuals' neglect and poor health. The original partner that delivered it was Age UK, and then it was re-tendered again in 2020, and now Mental Health Matters are now going to deliver the commission service for the next 3 years. The project funds one full-time worker, but they've managed to split it over 2 part-time workers, so it adds a bit more resilience to the ongoing service. So the aims of the project. The Hoarding Intervention Service was set up in Middlesbrough to support a growing number of service users identified with complex needs, where hoarding was becoming detrimental to the individual's mental and physical health. The main aim of the project is for Mental Health Matters to work in partnership with the Staying Put agency, social care, health and environmental services to provide dedicated one-to-one support to individuals who require intervention and support. The aim is that Mental Health Matters will build a therapeutic working relationship with the individuals, using their specialist support skills to build trust and put in place a collaborative, holistic plan to support each individual. This is to be delivered at a pace and an approach that the individual and the person is comfortable with. The Mental Health Matter worker will work with the individuals to proactively start removing clutter and hazards from their home to create a safer working and living environment. Mental Health Matters will utilise a range of their specialist skills to develop and deliver a peer support group for the service users and their families, which they will try to attend on a regular basis. And for those individuals struggling with loneliness or social isolation, Mental Health Matters will also explore potential activities, interests and pursuits they would like to get involved with, working in partnership with specialist community support provisions, including the Staying Put agency's Staying Included service, which I'll mention a bit more in a couple of slides' time. So some of the funding for the clients and the cases. As most of you already know, funding can be very often become complex for some of these complex issues, and the individual is unable to contribute, or at least part contribute, to assist with all the work that is actually required. Some of the support routes that we use include, with quite a high amount of cases, what we do, there is always a need for specialists and service support to external agencies to assist with the decluttering of rooms, removal of items from the property, and on some occasions, a partial or full deep clean of the property. And with this was often being done by a team of people rather than one individual, the costs can creep up quite quickly. At this point, we have a home improvement trust which we can apply to for funding. The areas that we work with are the handy person service, and we have an in-house handy person service that can help with minor repairs and adaptations to the property. And we do often call upon them for everything from grab rail to do with minor joinery work or any of the little bits on the property. Other funding support that we can offer includes home improvement loans. Now, when work begins on properties, we do sometimes find that through years of neglect to houses, larger hazards may need addressing to make a safer environment. Roofs may be leaking, or damp is crawling up the walls behind furniture, or that small leak from the sink upstairs in the bathroom, which nobody's actually accessed for a few years, has now caused some major structural damage. And we need to work quite quickly to get these things resolved. As a home improvement agency, then we do offer a home improvement loans via the Staying Put agency, so it is an option which can be looked at. To do with winter warmth and sort of central heating, a warm and safe home is a must and can often be the first step in making a positive impact to an individual. Again, like I previously mentioned, some of these houses have never been maintained for many years, and heating and hot water may be at a minimum, if at all. So here we have gas-safe engineers who can service heating systems to see if they're working or recoverable, which we can fund through the likes of the Gas-Safe charity. And if a new boiler or central heating system is required, then the agency can look to see what heating schemes are available at the time. And there's also quite often the DFG route, and then If one of the workers can see that the client may have issues with bathing or climbing the stairs or any getting in and out of the property, then we can look to speak to social care regarding this. So, as a case study that we've done, Mrs. P was unknown to the Staying Put agency and social care until a referral had come in from the fire brigade, who had attended a call after she became concerned due to some leaking water and the sparking plug. They were concerned at the amount of clutter and the hazards present at the property and had made an urgent referral through to social care. The social worker had visited and made the same day referral to the hoarding services via ourselves, and Mental Health Matters had then attended to start their initial assessment with the client. At Mental Health Matters' first visit to the client, it was apparent that Mrs. P had been hoarding items for many years, from books to trinkets to food, but she did show signs that she was aware of the situation and the potential problem that was being caused by herself, and that she was open to receiving help from the service. So Mental Health Matters began to work with Ms. P and the specialist skills and therapeutics, and the Staying Put agency caseworker was also brought in quickly to look at the issues with the water leak and the electrics that had started the referral off, and various other practical solutions needed throughout the property that have been mentioned. Mental Health Matters then worked with Mrs. P to agree that some rooms really needed a deep clean, and after getting quotes and approaching a couple of different funding routes to help finance this, the work was organised through a local specialist company and completed. At the same time as this, the Staying Put agency caseworker then also had found that the lady actually did have insurance, and there was about 6 or 7 months left on the insurance before it expired. So through this, we contacted them and we managed to get some of the original damage done by the water completed and rectified at the property. A local electrician conducted an electrical test at our recommendation and repaired a couple of potential hazards that were coming. This was funded through a minor works grant that was supplied through the Staying Put agency. Also, in regards to keeping food cool, a new fridge freezer was obtained through the Greg's Charity Fund. The agency's handy person service was brought in to do some minor repair work and change a lock. And as Mental Health Matters continued with the therapeutics, Mrs. P is also now waiting for an OT assessment for her bathing needs. Although there had been a few bumps in the road to getting this far with the client, she can now see the benefits of what the service has done, and an introduction to the Staying Put agency Staying Included service is being made. This is a service where, as a caseworker, will be able to help her access the community and possibly look to join in local groups. The service will play a big role with the client's needs once the Mental Health Matters support comes to near its completion. So regarding the peer support group we mentioned, we specified that Mental Health Matters, that as the project evolved and some more services users came on board, that they develop and deliver a peer support group. The group is to help show service users that they are not the only person where hoarding is affecting their lives. As they work through the hoarding issues, they may now feel that something is missing in their daily lives, and the social interaction can open doors and new hobbies and interests through talking to others and sharing stories. Through other projects we've looked at, it has been recognised that peer support and the sharing of stories between individuals offers something different to the therapeutic support that the project is already providing. And meeting people who are going through the similar situations can now be very beneficial to an individual's progress. Now, before the COVID-19 pandemic, a monthly get-together was taking place in a local cafe and being greeted with a lot of positive feedback. Though these meetings, new friendships had been formed and social events had been organised. Now, we are looking to resurrect the groups with some of the service users in the sort of coming months, hopefully when everything gets back to normal. So what have we learned so far? Well, we found that the support in hoarders is complex and often linked to long-term mental health issues. It requires a therapeutic approach, need to build trust, deliver at a pace and with an approach that the person is comfortable with. It is vital to address any safety and fire risks first. This is a way to get the individual on side and agree to start their decluttering. Use of the clutter image rating tool helps to get an accurate sense of the clutter problem with the recovery workers. Important to take a holistic multi-agency approach to help address the wider issues and the impact in the individual on a daily basis. And the advantage of the peer support, this can act as a form of group therapy and allows friendships to form and social opportunities to be created. Now, filling the gap, finding an alternative to the hoarding can prevent a relapse back into old ways. And for those individuals struggling with loneliness or social isolation, working in partnership with specialist community support services is definitely vital. So finally, for the future and kind of sustaining the project, we see the hoarding intervention services viable due to the prevention element, and it is an invest-to-save initiative. With the added benefit of working without social care at the end of each year of the project, we can look to see what savings the project has contributed to whilst improving the lives of these individuals. Through creating and developing good partnership working, recovery workers and caseworkers are already seeing the benefits of a faster, streamlined service, and successful interventions can see a reduction in a long-term care package for an individual, and the reduction of the need for the local council and health intervention, with environmental health and social work involvement being good examples. And decluttering and lifestyle change will also decrease the likelihood of falls and hospital admissions, and greatly increase the time period in which the individual will be able to continue to live independently in their home. Thank you. If you've got any questions, or if you want to contact me about anything that we've done in Middlesbrough, feel free to.
Great, thank you, Martin. There's certainly somebody at the end that Ravinda was saying that she loved the presentation, and particularly the summary of contacts at the end. And I think it definitely shows why Middlesbrough is either commended or winning Agents of the Year pretty much every year.
Yeah, it's sort of a project which we're into about the third year now, and it just seems to be evolving. I think the more we've kind of pushed it, the more every day there's somebody new coming forward. So it's like we're seeing these properties, and all the pictures you see when people post these things, they are out there, but a lot of people are willing to work with us.
Absolutely. A lot of good things happening in Middlesbrough. So thank you, Martin.